HTWOW January. Are you ready?
Yeah.
HTWOW Season 3, January. Go.
Hi, HTWOW listeners. Thank you for punching up the January 2020 edition of High Tea with Old Waver. We have loads of fun stories to tell you about the last month in our lives, the things that happened between the December pod and this pod. So many drunken adventures, so many silly contests, and all of your favorite HTWOW characters like Craig and Manny and Dale. And of course, me, Dave, and him, Toby, right?
Right.
But before we get to all of that fast-paced action and a special themed episode of the funnest stuff that we want to play from the 20-teens, want to take a second to ask you a favor. Please go to oldwaver.com and click on the premium link and become a patron. Because if you become a patron, you get the exclusive patron-only After Dark podcast, which is the drunken after party of this podcast. And for as little as $5 a month, you can get some cool merch and the monthly podcast that is only for you and your best friends on the internet. And also, please tell a friend, and then tell a friend to leave a review, and then leave a review yourself. Go to Apple Podcasts, iTunes, and on the HTWOW page, give us 5 stars, write some words, and help us climb the Apple Podcast rankings and make all your dreams come true in 2020. I don't know. I say the same thing every time to start the pod. You know the drill. We need your help to buy equipment and to take over the world. It's up to you, podcast listener.
Yes.
You're our only hope.
You're our only hope. This is the curveball, the end of the aughts. We haven't listened to.
No, it's not the aughts. It's the 10 teens.
I'm sorry. This is the end of the 10 teens. It's so stupid. That's why the decade sucks. It's because you can't even call it anything.
HTWOW people, we have made it to a new year, a new decade, and a new episode of your favorite podcast for music and beer, the drunkest music and beer podcast on the internets, High Tea with Old Waver, otherwise known as HTWOW. Welcome, thanks for being here.
How do you feel about being back in the womb?
The friendly confines of your College Station home studio. Yes, it is, it's comforting.
It is comforting, isn't it?
It's quite comforting.
I mean, It was fun. It was easy to do it that way last time, but it was this feels nice.
I kind of forgot what it felt like. Yes, this is HTWOW January 2020, episode 31. This is the decade of HTWOW. This is the decade that we take over the world.
It is. This is going to be our decade. You know, and I hated saying the tens anyway. Well, what did you say? Did you say the teens? What did you say?
I don't know what I said, but I think it's the 2010s.
Whatever. If it's hard to say,
or you can say it's
sucks.
the teens. You could say it's the teens, I guess.
I don't know. Whatever.
I don't know.
If we barely referred to it at all, I mean, let's move on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let's get
move
into
on.
the 20s. Sound a lot easier.
Yeah. I mean, think about how wild ass the 20s were in the 1900s.
Yeah.
If we could just match that.
Boy, if we even got close.
Outside of the Great Depression thing, let's try to avoid that.
Yeah, let's not do that.
But all the other stuff, let's do all that. This is a song swap and a beer swap. If you've never listened before, welcome. My name is Dave, also known as Old Waver. You can find me on Twitter at Old Waver. He is Toby. He's also known as High T, and he is at Toby Pipes on Twitter. And together, we create this podcast once a month. I bring 3 songs, he brings 3 songs, and we have 2 beers. Used to do, we would each bring a beer, but now we have a beer sponsor. Should we say hello to Goodfriend Package?
We really should. Do you want to hear the crowd?
Yeah.
Here it comes.
Give them the love.
There
the love they deserve.
Yay.
Yes, I went and saw Matt and Josh at Goodfriend Package this morning and picked up the beers as curated by Matt Tobin and had some breakfast and picked you up a t-shirt.
I know. Thanks for doing that.
Sure thing.
Joanna, you know, you can tell.
She was jealous of yours.
Yeah, she was jealous of the t-shirt. And then I saw her wearing it one day and I was like, do you
want your own?
Do you want one of those shirts? Because
that's mine.
No. But now I guess this one might be mine. We'll have to just see.
Is it the same exact shirt?
It's the exact same shirt, but I don't...
Well, then,
I guess it's the
it'll
same
get mixed.
size. What did you get?
Medium.
Oh, see, I think the other one might be a small.
Is it really?
But I don't know. Who cares?
I thought they were both mediums.
They might be mediums.
I don't know. But yes, we need to thank Goodfriend Package. By the way, Goodfriend Package is in East Dallas, Casa Linda, White Rock area. It's at 1155 Peavey. And they do fantastic coffee in there. They do great breakfast and lunch sandwiches and dishes. And they have a fabulous selection of takeaway booze, beers, as it were. And our first selection today is from Boulevard Brewing Company. Where's Boulevard from?
I don't know.
Do you remember? I know we've had them before.
It does look familiar.
I forgot to bring my dang readers. My eyesight is getting more awful by the day.
They are from Kansas City, Missouri.
Okay.
Brewed and bottled there. Does that mean they're from there?
Sure. Does it say 8.5%?
It says...
Am I reading that correctly?
Yes, 8.5.
And this is Tank 7 American Saison.
I love a Saison. Didn't we make a Saison?
We did. HTWOW Yacht Rock Saison.
You know, it's that time of year
that we need to brew.
Because it's hard to get the water cool enough when it's 900 degrees during the summer outside.
Oh, right. When it comes out of the tap.
When it comes out of the tap,
degrees.
It's still warm. But right now, it's a good time. We might need to think about that.
Have you had your first sip?
I have. It tastes like a Saison.
I accidentally poured a giant head, and so I had to wait for it to go down.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, that's delicious.
It is delicious.
Yeah, Matt was like, it's going to be a little opposite today because the first beer is actually the lighter beer, but it's the higher ABV because we always drink the stronger beer first,
Right.
and then we drink the easier drinking beer second.
Oh, he means a lighter beer as like the next one will be a dark beer.
Yeah,
But,
this is a Saison. The second one is a porter, but it's actually less alcohol.
yeah.
So
But Guinness is like that.
It kind of is going to maybe mess with our mojo. Hopefully, we won't tank in our first episode of the decade.
I think we'll be all right.
You think so?
This does taste, it's refreshing. It's good.
It's really quite good.
Did you have your big boy today?
No, I had. They didn't have the ciabatta bread, so I went with a biscuit sandwich, but on sourdough instead. So it was ham and bacon and egg and cheese on sourdough, and it was delicious. I couldn't finish it.
You really go for it when you say biscuit.
Biscuit.
It's good. So you didn't go for the avocado toast?
No, I needed something a little heartier than just avocado toast.
I know, you need to get your Monday morning kicked off. Does it feel like it's January, what, today? 6th?
I don't know.
Whatever it is, it's the Monday after. Doesn't it feel like it starts now? The year starts now.
Yes. We are officially starting the year because everything else was just spillover from 2019 and the holidays.
Yeah, and the dark period is over.
Yeah.
Now it's...
Now everybody's back to business. Lock it down.
Christmas decorations are put up.
Yeah, all that crap is back in storage.
Did you handle that?
At my house, yes.
Yeah, this was the
Knocked
weekend.
it down, took it to storage. My new wife, she doesn't have the greatest relationship with Christmas.
Okay.
Thanksgiving is her favorite holiday because it's all about food and family.
Sure.
And she doesn't really care for Christmas because it's just about commercialism and buying crap, in her opinion.
Right.
Because we're not the most religious people in the world. So, there's the reason for the season, but everybody really just wants to buy crap for each other and get crap.
Man.
And so, she was
about humbugs.
she was very eager to have Christmas be a distant memory. So I obliged, and the daughter and I packed all that crap up like the weekend after Christmas.
Oh, really?
Super quick. And it didn't take too long. We didn't have a whole lot of stuff to put away.
Yeah, it goes back in the crates much easier than getting everything out and putting it up.
Yeah.
Lights went down from outside like 10 minutes, and it took 3 hours to put them up. I just was yanking them off the...
Yeah, I didn't have to worry about that.
Yeah, you didn't have to do that this year. Did you do it at the other house?
No, I never. We had like a frosty inflatable that we put out front.
When I see people that do that, I think they're just genius.
I know. It's participating, but in the least amount of effort possible.
Yeah, and kids still like to look at it.
Hell yeah, they do.
It's a puffy frosty. It's awesome.
I don't know if the intro song threw everyone for a loop. We played Listomania by Phoenix. Mm-hmm. And it's we're kind of cheating. But the reason that we played it is, in your words, as we were talking about it, that it kind of kicked off the last decade for us. That record, although it came out in 2009, it
kind of mid 2000.
It stayed relevant well into 2010 and was in the rotation throughout the decade. So
yeah, I think that even 1901 wasn't even released till January. So it started, I think Listomania came out first, right?
I don't remember.
Either way, we all were getting into it at the end of 2009. It kicked off the decade for us.
Yeah, and so that brings us to...
Does it feel like it's 10 years old, that record?
No.
It does.
It sounds great.
It sounds amazing. I mean, not that records didn't sound good in
I know.
2009, but still...
Technology has come so far since 2009.
I just didn't realize it was that long ago when that record came out. But man, it sounds... When that kick drum comes in at the beginning, it sounds amazing.
Yeah. So we decided to kick off the new decade with a look back at the past decade. Toby is known for his book reports and his themed episodes, but this time we're doing a theme that we're both participating in, and we're looking back at the teens or the 2010s or whatever they're called.
But not ranking and doing all that
we're
crap.
not
Just
doing
stuff we kind of liked.
Yeah, we're not doing like, these are the most essential records of the last decade, or, these are the top 6 songs or whatever. We're just playing crap that we want to play.
Yeah.
Our favorite stuff that we want to hear right this second, that came out in the last decade and reminds us of the last decade.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
there are bright spots.
Hopefully, we'll play stuff that you liked, or we'll play stuff that you maybe missed, and then you'll go back and discover and be like, hey, thanks, HTWOW.
Thanks.
This is my new fave, bro.
Thanks. This is going to take me into the new decade.
One more bit of housekeeping before we get to the first tune, and then, oh God, we have so many stories. Just that date back to the last pod, if you listen to the December 2019 episode and the After Dark for you patrons, but then all the stuff that happened in between then and now. So many things to talk about. But speaking of patrons, we do need to bring your attention to the fact that we have an exclusive patron-only After Dark podcast that's called HTWOW After Dark. And you can only get it by being a patron. And you can only be a patron by going to oldwaver.com and clicking on premium, or going to patreon.com and searching HTWOW. And you get the After Dark podcast every month for a minimum of $5. I mean, it's a cup of coffee. For $5 a month, you get a cup of coffee, you get a sheet of HTWOW stickers to plaster everywhere, and you get a koozie. There are higher levels of membership for more swag, but most people choose the $5 option, and if you do, this is what you might hear. Our next guest is our friend Dale.
Dolly.
Dale has not made an appearance yet on the pod.
He has come up on the pod.
He's come up on the pod many times, so let the listeners hear your beautiful voice, Dale.
Say hello, Dale.
Hello, Dale.
Jeez.
Do you get it?
What is going on over there?
Man. All right.
Crap, what is happening?
What the?
There's tailgate chaos next to us. We have a Cowboys tailgate, and then there is a Cowboys tailgate 2 doors down, and in between there's a Rams tailgate, and there's some smack talking going on.
Okay.
I think they're lining
plays.
up. They're running plays.
Yeah. Rams fans.
Rams fans. They're not even wearing the good Rams jerseys. Why would you buy those Rams jerseys?
Yeah, what are they doing?
All right.
St. Louis. All right, guys, dinner's on.
All right. So that is Joel. Joel is manning the grill.
He'll be doing songs later.
We're about to dig into some dogs, some sausages, and meanwhile we're gonna listen to Dale's jams. Dale, what are you gonna play? First selection. Oh man, last month's After Dark was off the chain. And we'll get into that
I can't
here
believe,
in a little bit.
Did you get any complaints about the sound?
Not yet.
It really wasn't that bad
No,
for
I think
holding a phone out in the wind at a tailgate.
Yeah, I think it sounded fine.
It was fine.
Everything came together. So yes, please become a patron. Oh, and as I mentioned off the top in the promo that we have not recorded yet, but that we record later and then is put at the front and then you hear before you hear any of this.
That's why you sound so ridiculous at the beginning.
I'm pretty drunk when we record it.
Yeah.
That the way you can help this pod grow is by telling a friend, sending them a link, making them subscribe, and also leaving us a review. Go on Apple Podcasts, iTunes, whatever, and give us 5 stars and write some words and tell everybody how much you love it. And we will go into the mailbag and read a couple of our most recent reviews a little bit later. But let's get to the jams.
Jams.
I had a real hard time. I made like a playlist that I was just kind of rifling through on the way down here.
And you struggled when you got here.
I know.
mean, you spent a good 30, 40 minutes when you got here.
Yeah, I was going back and forth. I just went back through my iTunes and grabbed stuff that came out over the last 10 years and threw it in a playlist and was going over and over and over. And I just couldn't decide how to approach it. Was I going to play like the three bands that I most associate with the 2010s, or was I going to play like my favorite things of the 2010s, or I don't know. I kept on going back and forth. I was seriously overthinking it. You were like, dude, I just picked 3 songs.
Yeah, you were starting to worry me because I was like, I mean, I did not give this that much thought. But I think we're okay.
Yeah, but I ended up going with 3 things that are kind of my favorites, kind of things that I was really happy about, that really give me warm fuzzies over the past decade, and that maybe aren't the most obvious choices. Things that probably a lot of you have heard, but some of you maybe not. So the first one is Slowdive. And Slowdive came out of retirement, reunited, launched back onto the scene in 2014. And I don't know if you remember back then, but it was kind of a big deal to all of us.
I went.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah, they played one of their first shows when they got back together was at the Fortress Festival in Fort Worth.
I didn't go to that one. I went to Terminal 5.
You saw them in New York.
With Clausen and Teese.
Yeah.
Nolakai.
Yeah, so...
and it was great. It was hard to... it was so packed in there, you could barely see them. But they had TVs up everywhere, so I found a really good spot so I could hear it really well and watch them on the television.
Yeah, so they got back together in 2014. They did some festivals, they did some touring, and then in 2017, they put out their first album in 22 years. And it was a self-titled record, their 4th record. The first record, Just for a Day, wonderful. Second record, Slovakia.
Man.
Essential shoegaze record. The third one, Pygmalion, was kind of a disappointment at the time, and I guess revisionist history people give it more credit.
Right. It's better than what we thought at first.
It's very minimal. It was, kind of was a precursor to Neil Halstead's like Mojave 3 stuff.
Exactly,
kind of his more singer-songwritery thing.
Still really good.
Yeah. But for their 4th record, the one that came out in 2017, they went back to kind of the sound that made them, the sound that we love from them, the kind of shoegaze sensibility with a little bit of pop thrown in there. Mm-hmm. And so I decided to play the single, the hot jam, the one that made us fall in love with Slowdive all over again.
I think throughout today we're playing the hot jams.
Yes, and this is entitled Star Roving, and it's from Slowdive's self-titled record that came out just 3 years ago. Seems like only yesterday. And it's the first jam on January 2020's HTWOW. That is a hot jam.
That is such a good jam. You know,
It makes me want to party.
Hey man,
Bro.
there's some cold ones
At the bottom.
at the bottom. Remember that episode? Mm-hmm. That kind of, not that we're gonna get into the next jam right away, but it kind of leads into it a little, even though the other one was before this.
Right.
But it's cool when bands somehow remain relevant. You know what I mean? It's tough to do.
Right. Or they become more relevant as time goes on.
Yeah, dude, I don't know if Slowdive back in the day would have sold Terminal 5 out like
No.
that. They might have even played 2 nights. I can't remember.
Yeah.
But, you know, when it's so packed, you can't even see them from the rail. I mean, it was crazy in there. And I'm like, there is no way in the early 90s that they would have been able to play a place like that.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool.
That's awesome. That's a good way to start. I feel good about it.
Jam, Dave.
Thank you.
Now, you're not really doing this in, say, of an order of dates.
No, I'm just doing it in kind of, I don't know, just a flow that I thought made sense for the pod.
You got your flow.
I got my flow. You got your flow.
Mm-hmm.
Before we get into your first jam,
Yes.
Toby's pick for the best thing that ever came out in the teens.
It's not true.
We should revisit last month's pod. So if you listen to the December pod, you know that it was different. It was recorded on a 4-track in my living room in Dallas as opposed to in the comforting bosom of Toby's home studio in College Station.
Yeah, a 4-track is, you know, should I explain what that is?
I mean, people either know or they don't. It
I mean,
doesn't
it's
matter.
basically
it's on a cassette.
It's a cassette. Usually when a cassette plays, 2 tracks come out like anything. It's a stereo. On the head, there's 2 tracks. Well, a 4-track breaks that up into 4 tracks that you can record.
Yeah, you're only recording in one direction.
Right.
You're using all 4 tracks going one way.
Yes, and when you finish using the 4 tracks, you can bounce down and keep, you know, it's basically how every engineer, I think Tatch even put something up the other day, and Todd and some people about there's this legendary Tascam that we all used to use, but it's how you learn how to do this. Because if you look at the channels, it's just the most simple version of the most giant board you'll ever use in your life, right?
Right, yeah. You learn the fundamentals on this little Tascam.
No matter when you see someone doing a soundtrack to Star Wars or something, and you look at that board and there's like, how could anyone possibly learn how to... It's still one channel at a time, and it's basically a giant 4-track that you learned on. There's just more buttons.
There's 64 tracks or 100 tracks or whatever the hell.
That podcast was recorded on something that was made in 1982.
Yeah.
And it really worked out. I thought it was okay.
Yeah. So the regular pod was on a 4-track in my living room, and we used up 4 cassettes, correct?
That's right. It did on the playback when I dumped it back in, you know, because I haven't used this 4-track since the early 90s.
Right. So you had to dump it in real time into the computer.
That's right. When I dumped it back into Pro Tools, it was pretty much press play on every cassette, and I would just walk off and come back in and see how it was going. For some reason, there were these little pops on the playback heads that sounded like everything was on a really dirty record.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
And I thought at some point I was going to have to go through and erase it. That's what I started doing, was just taking out
just one by
every single pop. And then I just looked up, there has to be a plugin for this, right? Has to be something that takes out these things. And sure enough, Isotope, thank you, God. $29.
So you just scrubbed the whole file.
I just went like 20 minutes at a time and put this thing on there, and it took everything. Could you tell?
No.
It sounded clean as it could possibly be.
Yeah, it sounded great.
And it was,
That's magic.
I thought we might have to trash it at some point.
That's magic. Yeah, you did some yeoman's work on the December pod.
It really, but I like the sound of it. The tape, it sounded good.
Yeah, it sounded good, and I think some people maybe were put off because there was so much background noise at the beginning. There were so many people talking in the background. But towards the end, it settled down, and we had special guests. We had a visit from Cash Saroy.
We did.
And we had a visit from Manny.
Manny's visit was special.
Yes, and we had a great time. And then we did a very special After Dark. Usually the After Dark is recorded the same night that we record the pod. Usually we record the pod late afternoon, early evening. Then we go have some dinner, we drink some more, and then we come back into the studio late night, like 10, 11 o'clock at night.
And we basically just hit record of what we would normally do anyway.
Yeah, we just start playing songs and talking and drinking into the wee hours. And we decided to do something different for the December After Dark, which, again, is subscription only. Thank you, patrons. And so we recorded it at our Cowboys tailgate. And if you remember, as my groomsman gift for all my guys that came to stand with me back in November at my wedding, I got tickets to the Cowboys-Rams game.
Still way too big of a groomsman gift. I think that I think we all kind of felt like that was a little too far.
But
it sure was fun.
You guys deserved it.
Sure was fun. And
yeah, we had a blast.
And we did work in the middle.
Yeah, we had a blast, and the Cowboys surprisingly won before then shitting the bed against the Eagles.
It wasn't even just a win. It was like...
It was a blowout.
Have you ever been to a game at Cowboys at that stadium that it was just like you never...
No.
We didn't care the whole time. They were just killing them.
It was insane. Especially going in, I thought they were going to lose 50-2.
And then you embarrassed yourself with the national anthem.
Yeah, we can talk about that later, I guess. But yeah, we had a fabulous time, and so as opposed to the regular pod being recorded on the 4-track, the After Dark was recorded on your phone. What was the app that you were using?
It's something called Recorder Pro.
Yeah,
and it's got it's the best one that I found, and I can send WAV files to Pro Tools from it.
Oh, perfect.
So I knew that's when I think of something, I'll just record it real quick, and instead of having to transfer, do a bunch of stuff,
saves a step, yeah.
I can send it straight in, and it's all cool to just remember stuff.
Yeah.
But outside, I can't believe it picked up that well.
Yeah, it was a beautiful day, but it was a little windy, and there was people all around us playing their random music as we were playing our music.
But on that, I didn't put a master on that recording.
No.
Because the thing itself, the recorder, it put this weird compression on it that everything was, if someone yelled real loud there was never peaks, but it also didn't get too low. It was weird.
Yeah. It was magic.
I couldn't believe it worked out that way. I mean, it didn't sound great, but it could have sounded way worse.
But yeah, so it was just Toby holding out his condenser mic on his iPhone, and that's how we did the After Dark, and I think it turned out great.
And everyone got to pick songs?
Yeah, everybody on the tailgate got to pick 2 songs. I played one at the end, you played one at the beginning, and we had kind of our pregame playlist.
I told Taylor today on the phone that you thought one of his, after he played it, was the weirdest.
Yeah, the Stereolab one was the weirdest.
After Stereolab, you just go, well, that was weird.
But I loved it.
Yeah, he was like, what? I thought he liked it. And I was like, no, we all liked it, but it was definitely the one.
And it was so meta because you sent me the completed After Dark on New Year's Eve, right?
Is that right?
I think you sent it New Year's Eve.
Uh-huh.
And so... or maybe the day before, and so...
Yeah, because I remember I wanted it done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, and we'll talk about this later in more detail, but it was very meta because we were listening to the Cowboys Tailgate After Dark recording at our Stars Winter Classic tailgate.
Just from your car.
Yeah, from my car. But it was very confusing.
Yeah, but man, it's so did they like it? Did everyone think it's okay? It was funny.
Yeah.
There was a lot of funny in there.
Of course, Manny wanted to skip Joel's.
What was wrong with his picks? They were awesome.
Nothing. Manny just hates the raconteurs.
Oh,
he just hates things that he's not familiar with.
I can see Manny hating the raconteurs.
Yeah. But
it still was good though.
But great job.
Thanks, man.
Toby, MVP.
MVP.
And
Joel's the first MVP.
Yes.
And
Well,
then,
Joel was the dad of the group, and he had the grill and the tables and the cornhole and the chairs and all the food. I mean, I bought the tickets, and Joel bought everything else.
I gotta tell you, it was the easiest edit of all time, though, because we kept it so short and sweet.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just like people would said what they liked. We moved to the tune. That was it.
Yeah, and then it was jalapeno pack after jalapeno pack. It was just back-to-back tunes with the bumpers in between.
I had our bed music in the whole time and decided, no. The background music that everyone else was playing around us was way better.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and I encourage you to go back and listen if you have not already. Okay, and
it's short. It's half what we normally do.
Anything else that we... well, I guess while we're talking about it, we can talk about the national anthem controversy.
We'll set it up. So we're walking into
we've closed down the tailgate. We've finished recording the After Dark, and we are walking towards the stadium, like 30 minutes before kickoff.
Yeah.
Because I have to go to Will Call to pick up the tickets because I can't get them to load on my phone.
Which, by the way, this is just a FYI for anyone for next year. Tailgating there is the easiest setup, closest to the state. It was amazing how easy it was to do that and have so much space.
Yeah, it was super great.
I mean, compared to like an LSU thing where you have it is just tent to tent and there's nothing anyone can do. Man, we had a full-on pond and ducks.
We had so much room.
It was crazy.
Great.
But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, so as we are walking towards the stadium, I just start into this call and response chant.
Yes.
So we can reenact it. So we're walking in, and I don't know why I started doing this, but I just started doing this. I started saying, I say football, you say ball. Football.
Bow.
Football.
Bow.
And so that was just like intermittent throughout, just basically to crack ourselves up and to raise question marks over other people's heads.
At the end of the tailgate, that chant didn't go that well.
No. So then we get inside the gate. We get the tickets at Will Call. We get inside security. We get
Easy
inside
breezy.
the gate. Yeah, super fun.
Not even a line.
Yeah, easy as could be. And right as we walk through security, through the gate, get our tickets scanned, and we're right outside the stadium, but inside the gates, they start into the national anthem.
Yeah, where the giant TV, there's bars all around, giant TV.
Yeah.
You can see inside the stadium.
Yeah.
Yeah, the little plaza thing or whatever they call it.
And so as they are going into the national anthem, because we have this chant in our head, myself and Manny turn towards each other, right? Because there's not like a flag outside.
No, you're gonna drag Manny into this like y'all started it together. That wasn't just you.
Maybe it was me that started it. I don't know.
You might have started the first couple of notes. He came in quick.
Yeah. And so, there's not a flag outside
on the TV
or blowing in the wind. There's nowhere to like turn and look.
No, there was a flag on the giant television.
I didn't see it.
I walked off from you because I knew exactly what you were going to do, and I didn't want to be any part of this group.
So, I put my hand on my heart, and because I don't see a flag anywhere, I just turn like 6 inches from Manny's face, and I'm just staring him right in the face, and I start singing Football Ball to the tune of God Bless America.
Do you need me to turn down the bed so you can do this? Go ahead.
So, and as soon as I start, Manny starts, and then Craig starts, and there's a smattering of others that join in. So it's football, ball, 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 football, ball, 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 football, ball. And
It's just and I walked as far away from you guys and I stood next to those dudes.
right. And so we're like halfway through the song and two dudes that are standing like 5-10 feet away from us.
That are, what would you say, 60s, early 60s?
No, dude, they were younger than us, I think.
No,
Yes.
those guys were old military dudes.
No, they were younger than us, I swear. But these two guys turned around
They looked weathered.
and looked at us, and one of them said, "Seriously, guys?" And so we then started just doing it under our breath.
No, y'all just looked down at the ground, because right when the guy said that, I was like, yeah, man, yeah.
Yeah, of course you're dogpiling.
And I'm looking back at you guys like,
Such a jerk.
I know.
I mean, we were.
But I knew you guys were going to do
jerks.
that.
We were jerks. We were just having fun, and meant no offense to America or the troops.
But they were offended for sure. But I think that they felt good
That we
that
capitulated.
you, right when the guy turned around and was like, really? Then y'all kind of just went, okay, yeah, maybe we should just.
Maybe it was this a bad idea.
We should just kind of go out a little bit. Because it could have escalated, and
No,
instead y'all took
we're not there to start a fight. We're not there to do anything to hurt anyone.
It could have been worse, and instead you just went.
We were just goofing off. We were just being jackasses.
But from then on out, game started. Man, I mean, it's the only thing about the stadium is our seats were great except for that sun exposure problem.
Yeah, we had about 25 minutes of direct sun in the eyeballs, and we were on the last row of like the 200 level, and so we had all the party pass people right behind us. And so at one point I tried to climb over my chair because there was a little walkway in between the back of our row and the rail that they all stand on.
Mm-hmm. And you think that that's no man's land, but that's for the party people, I guess.
And my foot caught on the top of my chair, and I went tumbling into some woman that was standing against the rail. And then at the end of the game, our buddy Dale has his little throwback plastic football helmets.
It's a every game thing.
Yeah, and so he had his Cowboys and Rams helmets, and he had put them on the shelf behind him, and then the woman that was standing behind him had snaked him and put him in her purse. And so then it was at the end of the game, and he was like, "Hey, where are those? Where are those helmets? We need to take a picture." And so she fishes them out of her purse, and he goes, "Thank you."
Yeah.
Takes them back.
They kept. I mean, some of them were nice, but we kept getting looks like we did something to them.
Yeah,
like every time we stood up, because we did find out during the whatever quarter it was that the sun was beating our eyes, like burning our pupils out.
Right, but if we stood, then the overhang would block the sun from our faces.
Yeah, and then we'd turn around every now, and I'm still trying to scoot down a little so people can see, but I'm like, this isn't our fault that they're so greedy, that the stadium is so greedy that they're selling these tickets for people to just stand behind the people with seats and breathe down their necks.
Yes.
It's weird.
I paid like $175 for these tickets.
Yeah.
You paid $29.
Yeah.
So I don't care that you can't see.
And they're still really mad at us. And we're just like, what were we supposed to do? Like, what do you want us to do? What can we do? But that was a little weird. And I don't like that whole... It also clogs up when you need to go get something. Right. Because there's people just walking around everywhere.
Honestly, the party pass needs to be strictly in the end zones.
Yeah, those giant areas.
They need to have a checkpoint where if you don't have a seated ticket, you can't go past this area.
Because the area behind where you used to have your tickets, it's massive.
Yeah.
So, and there's bars and there's all this stuff. Like, that's where you want to be.
Keep them in the end zones.
Yeah. That was weird.
The party pass people. I don't know why you're looking at me funny.
You said it. You said it weird.
Keep them.
It was aggressive.
Yeah, sorry. All right. Let's get to your first tune. We have loads more stories of stuff that happened, because that was kind of the kickoff of Manny's month-long vacation in Dallas. So we have loads to talk about.
Poor Krieg.
But what are you going to play?
Well, I am... I mean, I know that this is a big part of your decade.
Yes.
But Johnny Marr started. This was the decade he started releasing his. These are his debut solo records. Right?
Right. If you don't count the Healers record.
Yeah, and I don't. This is just Johnny Marr. I think he's It says that he's producer. He played tons of stuff. Like this is his thing. You know what I mean? He's not getting.
It's kind of the culmination of his whole career because, after the Smiths, he did all of his guest spots on like the and the Pretenders,
all
and
those
the
bands.
Cribs, and he did the electronic thing with Bernard.
Is there a Modest Mouse thing?
Yeah, and he did the Modest Mouse thing. That was before the Cribs.
Yeah, I mean, he was all over the place, but then he finally just goes, you know what? I need to stop helping other people, and this, why not do my own? And it just really paid off for him.
Yeah, but I think that the time that he spent playing with other people, and especially the time that he spent doing electronic with Bernard.
Yeah, I bet he learned a lot of recording.
He learned a lot of
techniques.
studio tricks, and he really got a good kind of perspective on how other people do things. Mm-hmm. And then he was like, okay, now I know what I want to do. Yeah,
and that first record, The Messenger. I remember the house I was living in Baton Rouge, like everything about it, because you're kind of, when you get the first Johnny Marr solo record, you're a little like, I don't know.
I hope this is good.
You hope that this is good, and you're going to give it every chance you can, but I mean, come on. It's not going to be like Morrissey or something. That's all you're thinking, is that it's, well, the guitar stuff's going to be good, but how is it going to be, you know? And
can he write lyrics? Can he sing?
Yeah.
How is this all going to come off?
And I was blown away. And in fact, I don't even know. You might have sent this to me or some way back then. I have no idea.
Yeah, well, before the record came out, the title track was released, the Messenger, and it very Smithsy, very classic Johnny Marr, guitar symphony, and it was magical.
Well, that is another thing, kind of like Slowdive. After a while, people kind of get over themselves and go, well, this is what I'm really good at. So why don't I just put out stuff that I'm, quit trying to be what's now or whatever and just do your thing, because that's what people want. So I was freaked out when I got this record, but this one song is do you have a favorite from The Messenger? Or did you just kind of like the record?
Probably the title track. Hold on, let me look. So definitely the title track. And I really liked Newtown Velocity, which was another kind of melodic number.
Right.
And European Me was another good one.
I almost played that one.
Yeah.
But this tune seemed to be the one that got me when I first got it. It's called Upstarts. You know that one?
Yeah.
I know you do. But it's another one of those things. It just makes you feel good that they can do relevant. It's not just some sucky thing, and then they go out and then he plays a bunch of Smiths covers.
Right.
And that's how people are coming to the show. People are looking forward to hearing Johnny Marr's tunes after he starts doing this. Yeah,
because he does kind of get outside his comfort zone. He does embrace who he is, and he's not afraid to do things that are expected of Johnny Marr, but then he also kind of goes out on limbs and explores his other influences, which is kind of what he does on Upstarts.
Yeah, and it's kind of like it's a very Paul Weller, like a Jam meets Smiths kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which I dig it. But should I just play it and then we'll talk about it after?
Yeah, so this is from 2013 as we revisit the teens, the 2010s, on the first HTWOW of 2020.
Sounds like the good life I know.
Man,
That's good, right?
that is good.
I mean, when I heard that one, I was like, man, I think he's got something here.
Yeah, and he's released 2 since then, and they've both been great.
Yeah. How many
And-
times have you seen him this decade?
Oh gosh, at least like 6.
Really? You've seen it? Oh, yeah. Because I guess...
Because I saw him in Paris this past summer. Saw him in Dallas and Austin.
That was before you and Craig came, right?
And then I probably saw him 2 other times in Dallas at least. So
Man.
5 or 6. I don't know.
So good. I mean, it's just...
I mean, if you ever have the chance to see him live, he really has graduated from side man to front man. That
But-
his presence is outstanding. He looks great.
Yeah, he does. He looks great. It's so weird. I mean, the Smiths. It's like it's so, it can so easily be done.
And he plays 4 or 5 Smith songs per set. He'll throw in an electronic number.
Every now and then, Andy Rourke might just show up.
Right.
It's so great. That's his. He's such a great musician that every now and then he might just jump up and play a tune with the Colt because he's known the guy since he was a kid, or just anything that's happening. Johnny Marr might just jump up and play the song, and he learns it in sound check real quick.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
He's such a badass.
He really is.
He's
cool.
my hero. And he's an essential follow on the Instagram. If you're on the Instagram and you're not following Johnny Marr, just go ahead and punch that up real quick.
He knows he looks good.
He always has a great kind of album cover looking shot
selfie with
no matter
some
where
sweet
he is.
guitar.
And then he always posts a little hot lick from soundcheck.
Yeah, he'll play like a really old Smith song that he's not going to play that night, but just to let you know he's still got it.
Yeah, just throwing out the riff, just make sure he can still play it.
So great. But yeah, I had to play that one.
Good call, bro.
It was a nice thing that happened in the decade that Johnny Marr started putting out his own stuff. So good for him. And good for us.
Good for us. Good for all of us. Mm-hmm. What has not been good for all of us is that our friend Manny,
Good segue.
who is now underemployed, he decided to take his sabbatical to Dallas. He is a New Yorker. He's been in Manhattan for 10 years now. Mm-hmm. He left us and moved to the big city. But he spent the last month from like the first week of December to the first week in January crashing in our friend Craig's house.
Which is spotless.
Yes.
All the time. I mean, Craig's house looks so good all
And
the time.
and as we talked about on the December pod, much like Craig enjoys a little bit of crazy in his women. Because he's so buttoned up in his day-to-day life that he needs, some excitement. He needs things to be shaken up. He also has a love-hate relationship with Manny. He loves it when Manny comes, but he also pretends to hate it.
Well, they've been friends since y'all's Trinity days.
And even before that, I think middle school, or maybe even elementary school. I don't know.
When Manny moved from Houston, I guess probably like 6th grade or something, to is it Bedford Euless area?
Yeah.
Meets Craig, and boy, they kick it off,
Yeah.
and it hasn't stopped since. And so I have been away. I was there for the Cowboy game and then the dog party, or dog party Cowboy game.
Right.
And then I came back again for the pizza off, which
Yes.
we'll explain what all that is later. But so I'm showing up in spurts.
Yes. But it was nonstop.
How much? So you have been around the whole time, or you get little day breaks too?
No, I was in and out as I saw fit. Of course I had extra days with my daughter over the school holiday break.
And she can't be any part of this because it is. Pace was there for the pizza off, and she heard and saw things she would.
Yeah, I mean, I would take my daughter to some of the bigger group events, like Chili Bowel, and Pizza Off. But, I didn't drag her around, out to eat with the guys,
Because that's crazy. And then
so I probably was there for 50% of the time, but Craig was there 100% of the time.
Now, is Clara involved, like Paces, with the policing of the cigaretting?
No, I think she just doesn't acknowledge or doesn't. It doesn't register with her.
Well, when we got to my folks' house last weekend, the very first, they said, "How was Dallas?" And she was like, "It was so much fun. They were all so awesome, but there was a lot of cigaretting."
Yeah, she was. Your daughter was shaming.
I know
the guys for any time they would light up,
which kind of turned into a fun game.
Yes.
But so, how's Craig doing? How is he? Okay. When did Manny go back? Is it today?
Today. Wow. As of this recording, he is back in New York. Like,
because he's deciding.
Craig sent a screenshot of the flight tracker of In the Air.
Because Manny is deciding he's about to have some sort of life change of.
Yeah, he's thinking he might move back to Dallas.
Depending on what job comes up,
Yeah.
he's leaving it to the stars.
Yes.
To figure out if he's going to live in Dallas or New York, even though he told me like 3 times at the tailgate, yeah, I'm moving back to Dallas.
Yeah.
But after a few drinks, people say anything.
Yeah. No, Craig, I saw both of them last night as we were watching Wild Card Weekend. I'm dating this pod, but it doesn't matter.
No one cares about that.
And so, Craig said that he was going into full detox all week.
Is he just going to go no drink?
That he was going to not drink, not smoke, sleep, and eat food.
When I showed up to the house, when I forgot my sunglasses at Craig's and saw you and Clara and Craig and Manny and y'all's faces. I mean, yours was your eyeballs were pretty shiny, but Manny and Craig, I've never seen Craig like that. He looked like he had been on the top of a mountain for like 3 weeks.
Right.
That look. Like his face was just chapped.
Yeah.
And his eyes were watery. And he's just looking out into the distance. And I'm just like, well, man, we probably should go.
Yeah.
Because I'm not too sure. He was trying to be as pleasant as he could, but that did not look well.
Yeah. At some point, Manny said that he took a shower in Craig's guest room and no water was going down the drain because it was just absorbing into his skin because he was so dehydrated. These guys, it's insane.
It is insane. I don't know how they can stay up that. I mean, it's easily till 5:36. Probably 80% of the time.
Yeah, because as we talked about with Craig when he was on the September pod, I believe, that he enjoys sitting in his garage listening to his car stereo.
Which is the most amazing. I mean, I didn't think anyone cared about their car stereo since the 80s.
Right.
And it's a factory car stereo.
Yeah.
It just sounds amazing.
Yeah. I mean, he could just as easily sit in the living room and listen to music, but they would much rather sit in the car and listen to music.
And disturb all the neighbors.
Yes. And so almost every night they would end the night in the garage jamming Cocteau Twins on 11 until like 4 a.m.
They tried to trap me into that at least 4 or 5 times, and every single time I'd be like, "You got one song.
Yeah,
I'm out of this car. I'm not doing this."
I did 2 songs. Because they said, we figured out that you've never done the car thing. And I was like, yeah, because I don't want to.
I don't want to. There's comfy couches in there, and we can watch TV while.
Come on, you got to. And so we went in and we did like a song off of Disintegration, and then we did a Cocteau Twins song, which was
both great.
But I was just so ready to get out of I was just claustrophobic.
Yeah, I'm like, we can't do anything. I mean, it really does sound amazing, though. I do get it.
Yeah.
It's like this full-on surround. I don't know what's going on in that car, but it's amazing.
All right, so let's get to the next jam, and we can talk about Chili Bowel and Pizza Off and the Winter Classic coming up. But For my next jam, kind of a companion piece to Slowdive, there was another legendary shoegaze band that reactivated during the teens, the 2010s.
Reactivated.
That would be My Bloody Valentine.
I know of them.
Yes. And so it kind of took everybody by surprise. We didn't hear that they were recording or that a new release was imminent. And then they kind of sprung it on everybody. And they released it on their own. And it came out in February of 2013. And it was kind of... it was a little Radiohead-ish in the way that they put it out, and that they relaunched their website, and they had like a countdown.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
And then it went on sale, and immediately the website crashed. And so I ordered mine the first day, and then it took like a month for me to get the vinyl.
Yeah.
It took a long time, but it was a great success. It ended up on a lot of year-end lists in 2013, and it's one of those that I haven't revisited that much in the intervening years. Mm-hmm. But in thinking about this show and thinking about what I wanted to play, I went back and listened to it, and it's so good.
It's so good. Now that how far after was the Palladium show we were at?
Oh man.
Because for some reason Manny was there, right?
I don't know if it was the same year or later that year. Hold on, let me look up. Let me look it up real quick.
Cool.
Get.
Get it. Get.
So they played at the Palladium. Oh gosh, this was way before the record.
Okay.
They played at the Palladium in 2009.
Okay, so they kind of did a Slowdive thing.
Yeah,
they
kind of reactivated, and then, as I said, the record came out in February of 2013, and then they played the Verizon Theater in Grand Prairie in August of 2013. I don't know if I went to that.
I'm kind of thinking that, sometimes those bands want to do a tour to see if anyone cares.
Right.
But that Palladium show was the loudest, most head-caving... It was insane.
It was pummeling. Yeah, when you walked into the show, as you walked into the show, you saw like 5 semi-trailers that had speakers and equipment that had been unloaded into the Palladium. And then as you walked in, they handed everybody a little plastic baggie of earplugs.
Yeah.
And so I stuck them in my pocket. I was like, I'm not going to need these.
Yeah.
And 2 songs in, I was like, where are those earplugs?
Yeah. But I remember in the heaviest part of the show, I was either with you or with Manny, and I was like, I'm taking them out. I gotta, because it was hurting my chest, like the waves. And I was like, I gotta hear what this sounds like. It's like a jet engine.
Yes.
It was insane. But probably one of the coolest concerts I've ever seen in my life.
It was amazing.
They wanted to let you know that no one can do this.
Right.
It was crazy.
We are back, and we are the only ones that can do this.
It was so good.
Yeah, so the record is entitled MBV, of course, for My Bloody Valentine. And the jam, like the best jam, I think this was the single, and was the single for a reason, is called Only Tomorrow. And man, like I said, I hadn't listened to it in a long time, and then I listened to it and immediately got to play this. So this is selection number 3 from the teens on HTWOW, bro.
Bro.
Hold me
I know Marissa's going to hate that when we play this pod together.
You know, I love that. But I do understand if some people... It's kind of how we understand how people don't like Morrissey's voice.
Right.
I do get if some people that would listen to that go, what would you like about it?
Right.
But I love it.
The drony, flangey thing that goes on throughout.
God, it's so awesome.
Did you ever see the, because Kevin Shields, the main guy, is famously reclusive. Mm-hmm. But I swear I saw a YouTube thing where he talked about how he sets up his guitars, with the whammy bar and the way he tunes it and the strings that he uses to get that sound. Yeah,
and it's crazy if you watch it. I think we all passed that around at some point. Didn't we all send it to each other? Or something?
I think so.
Yeah. But it's really
crazy.
Cool.
It's crazy how just how tricked up it is, because it's not just that he's riding the whammy bar as he's playing. It's just it's everything is so taut, and the way it's angled, and he's a genius.
Absolutely, he's a mental guy.
Yeah,
it is really weird, but I think he's when they started. Everyone was like, well, why are you doing this again? And I think it wasn't one of his main things was like now, with the way live music, now we can actually do it right.
Yeah.
Where before it was really frustrating for him that they couldn't get it to sound right.
Yeah.
And the same exact thing, My Bloody Valentine was pretty big back then. But there is no way they could have done that amount of people at the Palladium. Yeah. No way.
Yeah, the weight of nostalgia helped fill that room.
Yeah, but also a lot of new kids that are just into this whole thing now that came out of nowhere. But
and a lot of that record was written back, and some of it was even recorded back in the late 90s, 96, 97, and then Kevin Shields just shelved it because he got frustrated.
Yeah.
He had writer's block, and he was frustrated with his gear and whatever, and so he just put it away, and then came back to it there in the early teens, and then we had this magic come out in 2013.
So good.
So fun.
There were good things that happened this decade.
I know, there was a lot of bad. A lot of bad,
but there were some good things.
There were some good things. So before we get to your next jam and we touch on stories from Chili Bowel, we need to move on to our next beer. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready. I'm having a little bit of water to cleanse my palate.
Let me chug. I think you only had one of these Saisons, but I opened a second one. And let me go ahead and pound the rest of this.
Yeah,
hold on a second.
You're twice me. That sounds really gross.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Let me dig into the HTWOW Goodfriend Package cooler.
I kind of do like the artwork on the Tank 7 that we just had.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
All right, so I believe we recently had another beer from this Dallas-based brewery. This is from the Manhattan Project Beer Company out of Dallas.
Yeah, I want to say we had something. Was it called Omission? Or something like that. It's the one that we took in front of Willow.
Yeah, it was... Oh, God, I can't remember.
Doesn't matter.
Are you going to make me look it up?
No, I don't care.
Okay. So this one comes very highly recommended by Matt at Goodfriend Package. He said this one just came out. This is called Plutonium 239. You know, all of their stuff, Manhattan Project probably tips you off. It's all about, kind of the A-bomb and, kind of 50s, 60s era.
Now, when I said I like
graphic design,
the Tank 7 artwork, I think the last time we had one of these from this company,
yes,
these guys win.
Yes,
their stuff looks amazing. Like I want all my shirts to have their stuff on them.
Yeah, it's great. And this is a coconut porter. It says it pairs well with nuts, chocolate, and steak. and I can't read this. Can
What-
you read it? Because I need to bring my readers. We can talk about my eye problems
Do
later.
you want to read what it says on the back?
Yeah.
If you like coconut and chocolate, this beer's for you. It's lighter on the palate than you might think, which means it is okay if the weather is warm and the food is rich. As the beer breathes, the freshly toasted coconut begins to shine.
Nice.
Did you like how I did that? I mean, I know you're a professional person, but I did
you
pretty
did a
good.
great job.
And it was hard to read. You're right.
And this is a 6.2. So
Do you see the richness scale on the back?
no, wow, it's like 75% rich.
Rich. 6.2. Did you? You probably already said that.
I didn't rinse my glass. Should I just pour it in here on top of the Saison? Is that sacrilege?
I would say if it was the opposite direction,
It'll be okay, you think? This
I
direction?
think this way. This one's whatever flavor this
Yeah,
is.
look at how chocolatey that is.
It's gonna overpower.
That is. Oh, man.
Look at that. We'll just start your car right up.
That smells delicious.
You yum. I gotta tell you, I'm a little coconut.
Are you scared?
I like coconut. Well, there's certain things I like coconut.
I mean, it's a little suntan lotion, but not too much. I like it.
yeah,
I like
that is-
it.
That's not as bad as I thought. That it would be a totally different vibe.
Yeah, no, that's good.
That is really good.
Matt,
Golly,
you
it's-
picked another winner.
They it's a lot more chocolatey than the coconut.
Yeah. It's got good balance, bro. Just cut out every time I say bro.
I'll leave.
Every time I say, and like.
You know I do
And,
all that.
and bro. Just take them all out.
I haven't been taking out tons.
Make me sound coherent.
I haven't taken out tons of the bros, but I take out all the. And now I think that my new plug-in will take out your, so I don't have to do it.
Your pop plug-in.
I'm gonna give him to your voiceover guy that records you. I'm gonna call him and go, bro, I got it.
I fixed everything
Bro,
that he does.
Your life, just here you go. You can have this.
All right. Before we get to jam number 2 from Toby, let's touch on the second massive event that occurred between last pod and this pod. So we
Besides the Cowboys
yeah,
game.
so we had the Cowboys game and the Cowboys tailgate
Mainly the dog party.
and the dog party. Then the following weekend was Chili Bowl.
Chili Bow.
And so Chili Bowl, its origins date back, like 20 years. We used to have Super Bowl.
Which I'm so disappointed that stopped.
Well, because we all got too old.
That's not true. We don't have we still can throw the football.
Yeah,
What's
but
wrong?
we can't run. Everyone would throw up or blow out their knees. So we used to have a flag football game.
Some of us.
We used to have a flag football game. Was it like the day before, like the Saturday before the Super Bowl, or the day of the Super Bowl? I can't remember.
God, I think it started that we would do it at halftime, and it was just like this mini game. That's what I thought.
No, it was full blown from the get go.
Was the first one the first full blown one at Jeff and Sherry's? Remember that giant field out there?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that one, I know we all showed up for the game.
It was at the elementary school over there in Old Lake Highlands.
So did we show up early to play the game and then watched?
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds right.
Yeah, I think it was day of, maybe morning of
You know what?
the Super Bowl.
It is the morning of, because one of the games that Manny was on my team, it was early enough in the morning that when I picked him up from Craig's, we had to make a stop at Burger King so he could use the facility.
Yeah, so it started out in Old Lake Highlands, and then it ended up moving to Glencoe Park.
Which we would get people to come out and watch there.
Yes,
That was
we had a crowd for those. And so
we did extra points.
Yeah, we did extra points, and we did everything. We had cones, we had flags. It was great. And Manny and I were all-time captains.
Uh-huh.
And I
I
think
would get a coat.
Yeah, we had the Bowel Blazer that was awarded to the winner.
It was like the Masters.
Yeah, I think Craig wants me to find it. I forgot to look for it. I think I have it in my closet because he wants to box mount it and put it in his trophy room.
I still don't get why we don't play anymore. It doesn't make sense.
Because we're too old. So I think all time, I think Manny, I won the last one, but I think Manny leads the all-time series 4-3.
I think so. I think he does.
But so as part of Super Bowel, we would also have a chili cook-off.
Those were big days. They were big days.
Yeah, so we would cram so much into one day. We would have our flag football championship, and then we would go back to somebody's house and we would have a chili cook-off during the actual Super Bowl.
Like the chili was marinating during the game.
Right. It was in the crock pot cooking while we were playing the game.
And most people even the night before.
Right. And so then once we got too old and feeble to continue playing football, it just became Chili Bowl. So there's no more Super Bowl, but there is Chili Bowl.
We're bringing it back. I'm going to bring it back.
And of course, it's not a chili bowl, it's Chili Bowl, because after you eat 10 different kinds of chili, your bowels will be in distress.
Mm-hmm. And the winners, that comes out during halftime.
Yes. And so, yeah, it's
or do you taste test at halftime and the winners are at the end?
I think we announced the winners at halftime.
That feels right.
Yeah, so it's not tied to the Super Bowl anymore. It's just whenever we can bring it together, usually for a Cowboy game. And so...
now, when did that start up? Like, when did it stop being the on the Super Bowl? When we stopped caring about it because the Cowboys will never play in it again?
Yeah, I can't remember. And so...
Because that was kind of a shame.
Yeah. And so the Chili Bowl has only had 3 champions ever.
Is that right?
Yes.
Even this year, too?
Yes. So it's always been Manny, Craig, or Dale.
Okay. I feel like Dale has won a lot.
Dale, I think Manny's won the most, Dale's won second most, and Craig has won once or twice. Mm-hmm. And so this year, we had the most entries ever. I think we had 12.
Yeah. Did you post the video or Manny of all the crock pots in Craig's kitchen?
I did.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
That looked like a real, legit cook-off.
It was a serious cook-off. And so we had the most entries that we've ever had. Mm-hmm. And, so the rules are that in order to vote, you have to taste all of them. Mm-hmm. And then you pick your top 3 favorites.
And some people they're not just eating chili. You sort of make like a Frito pie situation out of them after a while.
Yeah, but you're supposed to just taste the chili. You're not supposed to put anything on it.
So it's just you have a little dab of each. Because I remember before, people would make the mistake of having too much of one, and by the end...
No, we bought little cups this time, so everybody, and like disposable spoons, so everyone was
Craig did that, didn't he?
Yeah, everyone was just having like one bite of each.
Like a Baskin-Robbins.
Yeah. And so I am happy to report that I came in 5th, which was really quite astounding for me.
Is that your highest?
I think it is my highest. I can't remember if I came in 4th one year, but I'm usually not a contender at all. But I felt like I really had something going this year.
Now, we used to do this when we were at your place when you had Gordon's house, right?
Yes.
Because I do remember a really good one there, too.
Yeah, usually I screw it up by adding something last minute that totally ruins the whole thing. Because you want to
kick it up a notch.
Yeah, because the best thing to do when you're doing a chili cook-off is to make it the day before and then refrigerate it and then reheat it in the crock pot the next day.
Right.
And then so you're tasting it as it's reheating and you're like, what is it missing? And so I've done everything from add Jim Beam to brown sugar to...
I actually think I remember the Jim Beam.
I can't remember. I don't know.
And Manny...
I've ruined so many chilies.
Doesn't Manny gets a lot of grief because he pretty much makes the exact same one every time?
Yes.
Or was that Dale?
Dale, both of them.
I remember Robin yelling at somebody.
Yeah, both of them have their their go-to recipes. Manny gets criticized because Manny makes his almost inedible. It's so hot, like spicy.
He goes for fire.
So the
Well,
top.
he's lost all of his taste buds, so for him, it's just regular chili.
Actually, you know what? I think I came in fourth.
Good for you, Dave.
I think I came in fourth.
And that's you almost
Okay,
podium.
yes. Okay. Yeah. So here's the thing. So first place was Craig. Mm-hmm. Craig crushed it this year.
Was it really that good?
It was so good. Second place.
Now, did he change a recipe? Like, so does he change every time? Because he wasn't getting the grief everyone else was getting.
I think I think he kept it pretty consistent as well. I think he has his go-to recipe, but he just nailed it this year.
Okay, good.
So Craig came in first. Manny came in second. Dale wanted to change things up.
Because he was getting grief about it.
Yeah. And so Dale totally shot himself in the foot because he did his usual recipe, but then he also smoked a brisket and then chopped up the brisket and threw that into his chili, and the brisket totally overpowered the chili.
Yeah, because he will smoke a brisket on it.
Yeah. I mean, he was chopping it up and I was grabbing pieces of bark. I mean,
he can do it really well.
He is so good at the smoking. And so the brisket on its own was great, and the chili on its own before he put the brisket in it was great. But then when he mashed them together,
He should have just left them apart.
It just did not pull off.
It should have just been an accent on the side.
I guess. I don't know. I mean, he went over the top. He had like a placemat for his crock pot. He had a little string of Christmas lights around it.
It's so good. I love it.
So over the top. But it totally backfired. So he finished like 7th or something.
Oh, no.
And then, our friend Robin.
Okay, I was just about to ask, because you know what? This is what she used to do, which I liked. I always voted for hers every time because she would go bold and sometimes make 2 chilies, and one of them was a vegetarian every time. And for, not that I was full on vegetarian or anything, but it was a good break.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like after a while, you're like, this is nice. And she is actually, out of all of us,
she's a professional chef.
She's a professional chef.
Yeah. She works in the food service industry, and she's done it forever.
Yeah. So you gotta, I think even before this one, she posted something that she was trying different recipes like a week out.
She did a couple of trial runs, and she was like, I'm coming for you guys. So she did make 2 chilies. She made a turkey chili, which came in last.
Okay.
And then she made a beef chili. And her beef chili came in third.
There she made a podium.
Yeah, she made the podium. The only reason that I did not share the podium with Robin was that I voted for myself 3rd place. If I had voted for myself 2nd place, I would have tied her for 3rd overall. But because I am I am very ethical in my voting.
But no matter what,
I ended up not on the podium.
Everyone that wasn't first place lost.
Yes.
So did you vote for Craig first?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
so he deserved. Craig just deserved.
My top 3 were Craig, Manny, and then myself.
Okay.
But I should have voted myself in front of Manny, and
You
then
should always vote yourself in front of Manny.
Then I could have shared 3rd place.
I've never entered.
You've never done a chili?
No, I mean I've always been there, and I've been part of the voting. I just never really felt like it.
Yeah, it's effort.
It is effort, but I was more of the part of the Super Bowl playing.
Yes.
But I do like, what I like about Super Bowl over the years, there has been a few secret placements that the people didn't cook. They went and got it from somewhere, put it in a pot. There was a Wendy's one year. Remember that?
Well, yeah, that was a gag.
Yeah.
Somebody bought a 99-cent Wendy's chilies.
Put it in a pot.
And dumped them into a crock pot.
Just to see if it would win.
Came in last.
Yeah, it came in last, and she right away said, well, it's from Wendy's.
Right.
So she didn't really care.
And then he who shall not be named on this podcast used to work at a restaurant, and he threw the restaurant's chili into the crock pot.
But that really made y'all mad. I remember that. They all got really angry.
Did he come in 2nd that year?
Something happened.
And then he was disqualified.
He can't make it anymore.
Yeah, because he went and went by his restaurant. He doesn't work there anymore.
You
but
could say it. He went to All Good.
Yeah, he
and
went to
got
All
his
Good. All Good has wonderful chili.
So of course it came in second.
Yeah, so they dumped a bunch of All Good chili into a crock pot, and it came in second. And then he was gloating like, "Yeah, you guys, that's All Good chili.
Disqualified. You're out. Now, have those been the only two fake?
Well, there was also Corey, North Texas friend Corey.
Corey Self?
Yes, who he did a last minute chili. And I think this is maybe what inspired Dale to go off the rails. He put Dickie's brisket into a chili. Like he bought like a chili, like the Wick Fowler's kit.
Right.
And then chopped up Dickie's brisket.
I can't do
and
that.
threw that in a pot. And then I think he may have come in like third. And then he starts gloating, like, "Oh, it's just Dickie's barbecue in a crock pot with some chili seasoning. Disqualified!"
That was a very good impersonation. But I do like how loud you're getting, because what people don't know, when you give out the awards, you get extremely loud.
Yes, well,
you got to quiet them down. Everyone's...
Yeah, I mean, I am the...
You're always
I am the MC.
host. Yeah, you're always the MC.
Because I have the loudest voice. And
you're a celebrity.
And I'm a celebrity. But yeah, so that's the story of Chili Bowel. And
man, I wish I could have made it this year. But I was up there one weekend, then up, and I had to pick my moments of, and so the one in the middle, the Chili Bowel.
But you were there for Pizza Off, and we will talk about Pizza Off after your jam.
So, mine. Should I just jump right to it?
Sure.
Let's just play it. We have something to pick from though.
Yeah. Did you decide which one?
No, we need to do that real quick. But here's the deal.
Do you want to do the long one or the short one?
Hey, hold on a minute. So, do you want to hear the reason why I picked this?
Why you picked the album that both of these songs are from?
Well, there's the album, but also this
artist.
Is from Tame Impala.
Yes.
And I feel like...
And I would have picked a Tame Impala song if you hadn't already.
Yeah, but I feel like for the decade, for people recording their own records, much like Johnny Marr did, obviously has done his own thing, and he was in charge of his own record. This guy... This is not the start of this. People have been recording their own stuff forever.
Right.
But
Kevin Parker took it to another level.
He is he influenced so many young bands.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like,
well, but he also especially with his latter day output in the teens, the tens, whatever.
Yeah.
That he crossed over into, kind of hip hop and R&B. Like he has bros in every different genre of music.
Mm-hmm. He's got bros in different area codes.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get that reference?
No.
A lot of people took, like you can tell mixing wise, after the Currents record, the Tame Impala Currents record, were so important to engineers and all. I mean, he's not like the filtering out and then it comes back clear again and all that. I mean, it's an old DJ trick. They've been doing it forever. But people aren't really doing it with the main mix on a record.
Yeah.
Like when you're listening to it, you think something is, like if this would have happened in the 80s, you would have thought that your cassette was melting. When the tape would run out.
Yeah.
But he's doing this in the real mix, and he is mixing, he had planned on this the whole time. And so many, the Softer Still thing I played last month, it starts off with the bad filter, and you're like, man, this sounds really weird. And then all of a sudden it gets super clear, and then, it's a DJ trick.
It's for effect. But
he was brave enough to start doing this on the records. It's not the first time, but nothing became, this was very popular.
Yeah.
Everyone had the Currents record. If you were engineer, audio dude, you took things from this, whether you thought you did or not. And so I thought that it was a very influential record of the decade. So I thought that we should play something. Our dilemma is the song that we want to play. Well, we want to play either. Well, Let It Happen lasts 7.5 minutes long, and it's the first song on the record.
But I love it.
So should we just play? I mean, no one cares, right? If they
they can just skip forward.
Yeah.
We aren't constrained by time. So this came out in all the way back in 2015.
Yeah.
July of 2015. I can't believe it's been that long.
So not too far after and I think at some point on a After Dark or something, we played early Tame Impala stuff, right? And it had it's weird at the beginning.
Yeah. So we played several months ago, because they've announced he's announced the next record, which is going to come out, I think, in February. And so we played Borderline, I think, which is one of the songs that's on the forthcoming record. But we played it, back in May or June.
Borderline.
And then, in the After Dark, we played something off of their very first EP, which was recorded on a Tascam 4-track.
Exactly. And it's cool, but they made a change for the better.
Yeah. And so
he made a change for the better.
I would have, if I would have played Tame Impala, I would have played something off the previous record, which is Lonerism, which I think came out in 2012 or 13. And I would have played Ender's Toy, which is my favorite Tame Impala song.
Right.
But I agree that as far as lasting impact and just influence across genres for the decade, Currents is definitely where you gotta be.
Everyone knew these, like you heard it in closed stores, clubs. It was everywhere. Like you couldn't get away from this. And after a while, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of got sick of it.
Yeah, and honestly, from what I've heard from the next record, I kind of wish that he would pick up the guitar again. Like Currents was kind of his transition into more beats and more bass and more keyboards. And while usually I like that, in this case I don't. But I still love this record, and I love this song that you're about to play.
And it's him locking himself into a house and recording a record.
And that's
what people do now.
This was a breakup record. He had that hot French girlfriend that he produced her record, and then they broke up, and then he wrote this record.
Australians and French people. It's like it has a theme in my stuff right now. It's weird.
It's so weird.
So weird. Could you imagine them arguing with each other?
So, repeat the name. Repitan, por favor.
Repeat what?
The name of this track.
Let It Happen. Let's play the long one.
Yeah. Okay.
It's the first song on Currents. You'll know it right away. Here it is on the HT decade. Wow.
gonna carry off all that isn't bound. And when it happens, I will be holding on. So let it happen, let it happen. All this running around, I can't fight it much longer. Something's trying to get out, and it's never been closer.
When's the last time you've had that song? When's the last time you revisited that jam, that long jam?
Man, I think the last time I heard it was when I saw them at Toyota Music Factory back in August or September or October, whenever it was.
It still holds up.
Yeah. I mean, it's a great live jam.
Yeah.
And they're playing the AAC in the summertime. Like, they've graduated to arenas.
You're kidding me.
I mean, I don't know if they'll sell it out, but they're trying.
I mean, I know that
the new record's going to come out in February. And
I know the amphitheater show looked amazing.
Yeah,
everyone
and then
went.
They're doing a world tour after that. And yeah, they're playing arenas. And we'll see.
Well, that song and that record was a big deal in the teens. So, thanks for sitting through that, everyone. I think that it's still a great jam.
It is a great jam.
I'm glad, but you do have to. I always feel like with Tame Impala, you do have to take a few months off. But I haven't listened to that all the way through in a while, and that sounds great.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole sound of it sounds great.
Yeah. I think to my dying day, I will associate Tame Impala with the teens.
Yeah. That might be their decade.
Yeah. They are probably the band that I've played the most over the last 10 years.
Really?
Probably.
Well, then I'm glad we played it, Dave. We really, man...
We're doing so great.
We're doing so good in the 20s already.
Yes. All right. So before we get to my final jam, let's talk about
Final jam.
phase 2, or I guess phase 3 of Manny's month-long stay, which was Pizza Off. So our group of friends, we, as you can tell from Super Bowel, Chili Bowel, we enjoy competition. We enjoy
harmless competition.
Yes, we enjoy any excuse to get together and have a friendly wager. And so we decided to, on the following weekend, after we just had Chili Bowel, to do Pizza Off.
Now, before you get into this, Pizza Off, we started Pizza Off how many years ago?
Well, it was when I lived in Gordon's house.
How many years ago was that? It's got to be
10.
It's longer
15?
than that. I would say 15 years ago.
Yeah, Dude Perfect stole it from us.
That's what I was just about to say. If anyone even thinks, well, I've seen the Pizza Off. They did this on a Dude Perfect episode.
Yeah.
When I saw that with my daughter, because she's a Dude Perfect fan, I almost freaked out. They absolutely stole the entire, because I guarantee you Danny discussed it, or you discussed it on the ticket.
Yeah, we've talked about it on the ticket several times.
Yeah, and they stole it.
Yes.
No doubt about it.
So Dude Perfect heard us talking about Pizza Off on the ticket, and then they decided to do it, and then now they've gotten 10 million hits on it and made untold millions of dollars off of our idea.
If those guys say one word, they get more than 10 million hits. So the only way they can pay us back is just to have us on for 5 seconds.
Right, just repost HTWOW.
Those dudes hold a lot of power. I do watch it though. They are very
just
cool.
For throwing a Nerf through a moving car.
I don't care, man. I'll watch it. It's so awesome. I love it. But still, I just didn't want
their complex in Frisco is insane.
It's amazing. And they deserve every bit of it.
How did they turn this jackassery, this frat boy jackassery, into $1 million empire?
You know, they started it in a backyard here.
Yes, in College Station. Yes.
So amazing.
They're dumb Aggies.
They deserve all of it.
That turned it into something that...
Because
can't even imagine.
When your kid changes from watching people make slime videos to Dude Perfect, you don't care. You're just like, this is great. I'll watch this all day. I'll watch dude do ping pong ball tricks into cups all day long.
Right.
And as long as slime is not ever made again.
So Pizza Off, if you've not watched Dude Perfect, is a competition in which everyone declares which, and we actually had a draft this year.
Do you even remember how this came up?
I don't even know.
I can't remember.
I don't know. But it was like the first time we did it, it was very spur of the moment. And then it took on a life of its own. And I can't remember how many we've done. We haven't done as many of these as we've done chili bowels.
I think it might have just have come up of arguing about which pizza we would order.
Yeah.
And then someone would, well, I'm doing this. And then someone, and so
Yeah,
it became
so-
2 or 3, and now there's like 8.
Yeah, I think it was 10.
Oh my God.
10 or 11 this time. So everyone declares their pizza place of choice, so we don't duplicate.
Yeah.
And then you order your best pie, like whatever you think is the best toppings at that particular place. Mm-hmm. And then we have a countdown, and you submit the order at the same time. And then the fun of the thing is when you have like 3 or 4 delivery guys showing up at the house at the same time, and the confused looks on their faces.
And they all had a great attitude. I mean, the video you made of the whole thing was awesome.
Yeah.
But I think back in the day, we all really used to have our favorite pizza place, so we didn't have to do the draft.
Yes.
But y'all handled it great. There was a lot of crossover on what people wanted and how.
Yeah. So it's to make it fair, we drew numbers.
But the draft was fun because people got really upset when someone would pick their pizza plate. It was really good.
And so we ended up with like 10 or 11 pizzas, and then we put them out on the table. Everyone, much like Chili Bowl, you have to taste every single one in order to vote, and then you vote for your top 3. And
you've put all this stuff up on your Instagram or your Facebook thing?
It was. I think I put up maybe just like the fly through, much like I did the fly through of all the crock pots.
That's what I mean. If anyone wanted to see what it looks like.
I did the fly through of all of the pizzas.
Yeah.
And so I need to go back, and I will post those videos to the HTWOW Instagram.
Oh, okay. All right,
to make
cool.
sure that people can find them if they want them.
Okay.
So HTWOWpod is our handle on Instagram, and so
it does
remind me I need to do that.
It does look ridiculous.
Yeah, and so everybody has to taste them all. Everybody votes, and I can't remember the top 3, but I do remember number 1 because it was probably the happiest moment of her life.
It's probably the best picture I've seen.
It surpassed marrying me.
Oh, by far.
My wife won first place.
Oh my God. And you didn't want to share the marriage pizza.
Yes.
You said, no, I'm getting my own.
Yeah, she offered to go in together and let's order a pizza together. And I was like, no, I want to do mine. You do yours.
Yeah.
I came in like 8th place.
Yeah, that really backfired.
And she came in first. Lover's Pizza was her selection, and her pizza was half double pepperoni, half cheese.
And I will say this, and I don't know, I wasn't there for the Craig thing, but I feel like it's kind of the same thing, that it was just the most solid.
Yes.
Like it was the pizza, it was the most solid, consistent, piece by piece. Like there were other fancier pizzas.
Yes.
But this one was...
And I over-toppinged my pizza.
Yeah. I don't remember who'd you do?
I went with Greenville Avenue Pizza Company.
Okay.
And I think I had pepperoni, sausage, onions, and mushrooms or something. It was too much.
I don't remember. Who did we go with? I forget.
You went with Pie Tap.
Pie Tap.
Yes.
I was going to call it pot pie again.
And I think you came in 5th or 6th. You had a good showing.
Remember we had the thing because you listed Piggy Pies twice.
Yeah, because my eyesight is so bad right now.
Yeah. So Pace thought that
Katie,
we were up for when it came up to the final thing. We thought we were in it.
I know.
But still, that was good for her because she was so excited.
Katie, Taylor's significant other, who was tallying the points, wrote everything on a tiny Post-it, so I was having to really struggle to read. And so
she's young and full of life.
Yes, and so I mistook Pie Tap for Piggy Pies.
Yeah, but I will give it. Piggy Pies used to always be my go-to, so I will bow down to that every time.
And did they place? Did they come in 2nd or 3rd?
They were 2nd.
Okay, 2nd. Yes,
because it was up to those two.
Yeah. And so, but yeah,
we were tied for fourth.
Okay.
There was like 3 tied for fourth or something weird.
But it was my wife's greatest moment of her life. And as you mentioned, there was a picture that I believe Katie took, or no, I think it was
Sherry took it.
Yeah, Sherry took it. There's a paper plate that is the trophy for Pizza Off. And so it was presented to Marissa, and so she's holding it up above her head. Meanwhile, your daughter Pace is hugging her around the waist, and she just has the most just elated look on her face, and she looks like AOC when she won her seat in the House of Representatives. She just looks like she can't even believe. She was so nervous as I was reading the results, and she was fidgeting because she was like, I have a chance. Oh my God, I won!
Dude, that picture looks like it's some stock photo thing that people are going to just replace what's ever in her hands for years and years and years. Because it is
I'll have to post that. I don't think I posted that on the HTWOWpod.
It's everything
Instagram.
all at once, and the best picture. I love it.
So good.
I can't believe Sherry took that. It's perfect.
Yeah.
So good. Man, good times. Pizza Off.
Man, Pizza Off. Steal that idea for yourself and give us credit.
Yeah, give it a try next time that you have more than 10 people around. Order your favorite pizzas, and it's another harmless competition.
It's just fun times, and we invented it, not Dude Perfect.
And people sometimes have said, "Well, isn't that bad for the people delivering the pizza?" No, everyone
they all get paid.
The places get paid, and the people delivering the thing get paid, tipped way more than they should because everyone's tanked.
Right.
So everyone's way overdoing everything.
It's not like me singing Football Ball over the national anthem.
No, that's messed up.
That's disrespectful. But Pizza Off is not disrespectful. Don't you dare say it is.
Don't you dare say it is.
All right, it's time for my last jam. I'm not sure. I don't know. I guess I just decided to play this because to me, and this is guilty pleasure time, and to me, this is like my underdog, my guilty pleasure, my number one pick to click of the tens teens.
Pick to click.
That maybe you don't know about. Certainly you, Toby, know about it.
I do know about it, and I'm excited you're going to jam it.
It's a band called Wild Nothing. And much like Tame Impala, it's a dude. I mean, it's a band now, but it started out as just a dude, a guy named Jack Tatum. And so he started this band in 2009 when he was at school at Virginia Tech. He was in Blacksburg, Virginia. And he started this band in his dorm room. And put out his first record in 2010 called Gemini. He's put out 3 records since then. But I decided to play a jam off of the 2012 record entitled Nocturne.
Nocturne.
And, if you've not heard it, he is very much influenced by the 4AD C86 kind of aesthetic. The thing that we love. I mean, yes. Like you said, in reference to Slowdive and My Bloody Valentine, that there was a whole new generation of millennials that were discovering these shoegaze bands or these kind of under the radar, alt bands of the late 80s, early 90s, and started kind of doing their own interpretation of that style of music.
Right. Because it's cool to, find out things on your own, and you might have even heard stuff that your parents played at one point and kind of got into it a little bit. And it does happen. People have been doing it since the 80s bands were doing it with 60s bands. It just happens.
Yeah, I mean, you when you are, especially if you are thinking, hey, I want to start a band, or, me and my buddies, we're buying instruments. What do we want to sound like? I mean, you go crate digging, you go trying to find influences and say, I love this. What do you think about this?
Yeah, like I don't want to sound what's happening now.
Yeah,
That's
I want
boring.
to find my own thing. I want to find something that resonates with me from the past and then put my own spin on it.
I want to have my own voice and speak for my soul.
And so Wild Nothing did just that in a way that makes my pants smile. So this is off of Nocturne from 2012, and the jam is entitled Shadow, and it's on the HTWOW Tens Teens special episode, January 2020.
Is your hate so
Tell me that's not great.
It's really good. That's going to blend well
With what you're about to do?
with my next jam.
I'm so excited.
So when did that come out?
That was 2012, as I said before,
Well,
but you weren't
I
listening.
don't care what you're saying. So 2012, you really have gone all over the place. You don't care about order or anything?
No, yeah, I guess. So I went 2017, then 2014, then 2012. So I guess I went in reverse order.
You
And
know,
I have loads of runners up that I have like 8 jams that I need to narrow down to 6
right
for the After Dark. It's going to be tough.
After Dark.
So yeah, I have loads of stuff that I didn't quite want to play on the regular pod, but I am so excited to play on the After Dark.
I mean, After Dark, we're already lit.
It's going to be lit. Although I did see that we're not supposed to say lit in 2020 anymore.
Where'd you see that? Because I'm fine without saying it. I only say it.
I don't know
as a
where I
joke.
saw it, but I just saw that we're burying lit, that it dies with 2019.
I'm fine with lit dying.
Yeah, we just we'll come up with something new for the kids to say. Mm-hmm. We'll come up with something, and then Dude Perfect will say it, and then the kids will say it. Before we get to your final jam, I do want to touch on the final activity, the final moment of the epic Manny Dallas visit of 2019/2020.
Was I involved?
No.
Okay. Man, I can't wait. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, as I mentioned before, we listened to the December After Dark from our Cowboys tailgate at our Stars tailgate for the Winter Classic.
Yeah, I have questions.
Yeah, so the Winter Classic crew was myself, my wife, our buddy Jeff, Craig, Dale, and Manny.
The pictures look amazing. Well, not only of the actual event that
Right.
you took, but you guys look awesome. How cold was it? It's nice that it was cold and that it wasn't 75 and the ice melting.
Yeah, it was like high 40s, low 50s. It was perfect.
for
Overcast.
Perfect for the game.
Perfect. So, if by chance you don't know what the hell Winter Classic is, every year the NHL has a New Year's Day game. Where
It might be my favorite game every year.
Yeah, where they put on a hockey game outdoors in either a football stadium or a baseball stadium. And this year it was in Dallas, and it featured the Nashville Predators against the Dallas Stars, and it was at the Cotton Bowl. And tickets went on sale like 10 months before and sold out day of, like within hours.
It's a cool event. I mean, hockey in the Cotton Bowl?
Yeah.
It's amazing.
And so, they ran into trouble because there were rainstorms the weekend before that totally ruined the ice. So they had to, they had like 3 days to redo the entire ice surface. But it came off without a hitch. It was awesome. We tailgated, and it was New Year's Day. So
The tailgate didn't look... I mean, it looked good, but it didn't look as much fun.
no, because it was a little bit cold. And so they only had, they were trying to get everyone into the fairgrounds rather than in the parking lots.
But you can't bring your own booze into the
Right.
Yeah.
They wanted people to go in and buy drinks and buy food in the fairgrounds because they opened up the midway.
That's great.
They had like a full-on party before the game, but they did open up after a bunch of fans freaked out that there was going to be no tailgating. They opened up
Because the people don't tailgate at Stars games.
right, but they opened up a handful of lots and said, okay, you can tailgate in these. You can't have a charcoal grill.
Okay.
You can't have an open flame, but you can have like a propane grill or
Still
whatever.
cool that they let people do that.
Yeah,
Because
they did
man,
answer the protests of the fans.
sure.
And so I bought a pass to one of those lots right down the street from the old Meridian Room.
Sure.
Right there on Perry.
Yeah, I knew exactly where y'all were.
Yeah, we were in the Perry lot. And so and we had tamales and we had I think we had some leftover Craig chili that had been frozen, and we had some queso. And so we were trying to heat all this up on like one burner of like a propane grill. Didn't really work out so well, but we did do a lot of drinking, and we did have a great time.
What time did you show up at this?
We got there a little after 10, and the game starts at 12:30.
Okay, and this is the day. This is New Year's Day.
This is New Year's Day.
Man,
So
you had a party at Craig's the night before.
Yeah, Marissa and I went home probably around 2 the night before.
Okay,
and
that's not that bad.
And who knows how late they stayed up after we left. But everybody, we met up at Craig's at like 9:30. We get there by about 10.
Okay, years ago, that plan wouldn't have worked out.
No.
Everyone wouldn't have showed up at 9:30, but just like the tailgate, the Cowboy game, everyone showed up. You know what I mean? It's like everyone's accountable now. But back then, that would not have worked out.
And so we get in, an hour and a half, 2 hours of tailgate, and then we go in, and probably the coolest sporting event I've ever been to in my life.
It looked amazing. Now I did see, were y'all all sitting together?
No, we had 3 different pairs.
Okay, because your pictures look different from everyone else's.
Yeah, we had 2 pair in the lower bowl, kind of in the corner, and then we had 2 different pair in the same section in the upper deck.
Okay.
Not together, but in the same section. And so we had like a junction point where every intermission we would meet, and we would kind of swap, and we would.
Oh, okay, cool.
We would, let everybody kind of have a different vantage point.
That's a cool way to do it, sure.
Except for Manny, because at the first intermission, and by the way, I saw, when I saw Matt Tobin this morning at Goodfriend Package, he said, "Did Manny remember seeing me?" And I was like, "No." He has no recollection of seeing you, because Matt said that he walked into the bathroom at the Cotton Bowl, and Manny was leaving the urinal. And he yelled, "Hey, Manny!" And Manny just looked over at him and then looked away and walked out the door.
So he was having a day.
He was having a day.
He had a special day.
Yeah, and so first intermission, and during the first period, Dale is stuck with Manny.
Okay.
And so the whole first period, Manny is hoboing.
Yes, I know. Yes.
And so,
do we need to explain?
Yeah, we need to explain. So, Hobo Manny is when Manny is so sleep deprived and malnourished and drunk that he can no longer keep his eyes open or stay upright. That he bonks and he just lays down and takes a nap wherever he is,
no matter what. And this is like at 1:30 in the afternoon.
Yes.
Okay.
And so he says at the first intermission, "I'm not going to make it." And so I give him my keys, or I guess I give him my backup fob, because Marissa had her keys. So we give him one of the fobs for my car.
It's a fob.
Like the keyless entry thing for the car.
They call that a fob?
Yeah.
I've never heard that in my life.
Key fob. Never heard that?
It's called a key fob.
Yeah.
How you spell it?
FOB.
Oh, fob.
Yeah.
Not FAUB.
No.
Not that it makes a difference. I still never heard of it.
And so we give him the keys, and and Dale grabs him by the shoulders and looks him in the eye and says, "Perry lot, Perry lot, Perry lot, Perry lot." And so we send him on his way, because he's like, "I'm going to go take a nap in the car."
You sent him by himself during Hobo Manny.
Yes.
Oh my God.
And so he goes off, and we're like, we're never going to see him again. And so as we were leaving after the game, a fantastic game. Stars come back and win 4-2.
Their uniforms look great.
They had like crazy throwback uniforms. Just a magical day.
That
Wonderful
thing
day.
could have been a total disaster, and it just worked out.
Yeah. Even though the NHL had their cornball country western theme to the whole thing.
It was great.
It was
Who
great.
cares?
Who
It's
cares?
awesome.
And so afterwards, it's nut to butt trying to get out of there.
Sure.
It's impossible. Everybody is just log jammed, and every time we're passing like a trash, like a dumpster or a trash can, we're checking to make sure that Manny's not next to it.
Or just seeing if people are passing him around up on top,
Right.
like he's like a...
And so finally, we get to the car, and there's Manny.
He made it.
And he took like an hour and a half nap, and he's totally refreshed. He has a second wind. And so the story goes that he wandered for like 30, 45 minutes trying to find the parking lot where the car was. And finally a security guy in a golf cart comes up and says, "Hey man, you lost?" And he says, "Yeah, I'm trying to find the Perry lot." And he's like, "Hop in."
Hop in, Chief. I got you.
And so he takes Manny in the golf cart to the Perry lot. And he's like, "Where are you parked?" And Manny's like, "I have no idea."
Fob it.
And so he's hitting the fob. He's like, I know we're along the fence somewhere. And so they're driving around, and he sees in the distance my license plate.
HT.
I have personalized plates. I have the dumbest personalized plates
You
on my
totally
car.
do.
HTWOW. And he's like, HTWOW!
That's
Right there. So
so stupid.
he was rescued by the pod. And,
I can't believe you brought it all the way back.
I know. And he took a nap, and he rallied, and then we had a post-game tailgate, and it was a wonderful day. It was so much fun.
What'd y'all do after the game?
Well, I had to go pick up my kid, and so then we went to Robin's and had like some black-eyed peas. You know, it was
Yeah, you
just
got
kind of like, winding down the New Year celebrations.
What would you guys do without Robin?
I know.
I mean,
She's like, just like Joel is the dad, Robin's the mom.
Robin's been the mom for so long. And it's just like, Jesus.
All right, so that's the story of Winter Classic.
That is great. I can't believe it came somehow back to the pod. That's amazing. God, Manny y'all could have easily never seen him again.
Yeah, he could have died.
He must not have been totally hoboed Manny, because that's a different jam. Now, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready for your final jam.
Let's ready to do the last jam and wrap this up.
And you said you're kind of pulling a surprise on me.
Well, I'm pulling a surprise because, when people say the things that you love about the decade, doesn't mean that it had to come out at the beginning of the decade.
Right.
Or even in the middle.
Sure.
Some things can come out right at the end.
Like just under the wire.
Yeah. Do you see what I pulled up here?
I do.
It says Marble Arch.
Is that the name of the band?
Yeah. Have you ever heard of them?
No, I have not.
Guess what?
What?
They're French.
Oh, sweet.
It's kind of one dude. Once again, it's a dude.
So this came out at the end of 2019?
I guess so. Maybe look that up. They don't really have a lot of information about them. You know what I'm going to do instead of playing this? I'm going to show you the video while we watch it, because you have to see it. Because I recommend anyone, if you like this song, check out the video. Because it's just them.
They don't even have a wiki.
Yeah, it's just them walking around their neighborhood and being cool French dudes. I also think it's cool that they're French and they named their thing Marble Arch. But I think that you're really going to like this. And so I was like...
Is this from Children of the Slump?
I think it is, yeah.
Okay, so Children of the Slump.
Oh, here we go.
I'm looking for... so this was released in March of 2019.
See? See what I've done? And you never heard of this, right?
No. I mean, I'm looking at their stupid Bandcamp page.
I know.
That's how cutting edge they are.
They're not very big. But I think that you're going to like this, and I am going to play the video. Hold on 1 second, just to get on the...
What's the name of the jam?
It's called Gold.
Okay.
But I do think the video makes a difference. I've sent this to a few people, and they're like, man, they look really cool.
Because they're French.
Because they're French. Okay, are you ready?
Yes.
Are you ready for this? This is the end of the...
This is the curveball.
This is the end of the 10 teens. It's so stupid. That's why the decade sucks. It's because you can't even call it anything. But I think you're gonna like this, and this is just like Phoenix brought us into the last decade.
Yeah.
I want this to bring you into the new, because I think it's cool that kids are doing this kind of music.
Yeah, so we're circling back from France to France, from Phoenix to Marble Arch.
France to France.
France.
France to France. All right, here we go. Marble Arch, a song called Gold on HTWOW. What do you think?
I mean, I don't want to say that that's the best thing that we've played today, but that's pretty freaking good.
Aren't you just pleased that people are doing that?
Yes.
I mean, it just, when I heard it the other day, I was just kind of like, it gives you hope.
Yes, it does.
And they look so
And
cool.
the video does make a difference because they're so French.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just, 5 dudes walking around wherever the hell
Yeah.
they are.
Like friendly dudes doing laundry
Doing
and eating
laundry,
Thai food.
eating Thai food, taking pictures of each other.
It was, man, it's just really good. I thought that was great. And it just popped up right away after, I think it came up after a Softer Still thing when I was listening to it, and it just played. And I was like, what is this?
Oh, it was just like, kind of like the next thing in the queue.
Kind of like a suggest thing. And I was like, who is Marble? I've never heard of it in my life.
How awesome.
Yeah, so, yeah, everyone... Did we just introduce Marble Arch to...
We just broke Marble Arch
We
to
just
the world.
broke Marble Arch. But I'm into it. I hope that they tour. I want to see it. But yeah, that was my, we start Phoenix in Marble Arch, hey,
Hey, man.
we bookended it.
Yeah, we really just kind of put a button on the decade.
Get out. Let's start a new one.
The 10 teens are over now, officially.
Let's move on.
Yeah, we have so many things to look forward to, like the world takeover of HTWOW.
I can't wait. Are you ready to go? I mean, we're going to a new place to eat tonight.
I know.
Are you excited? Did that video kind of get you a little...
I know. Are we going to a Thai place?
No, we're going to I won't name the place. We're going to a newer place in town that I want you to try.
I've seen pictures and I'm very excited.
So let's do it.
This year is going off
Man.
wonderfully. This is such a stupendous start to 2020. I hope everyone has the optimism that we share right now.
I know. What was
for the coming year and the coming decade.
What was the name of that record again? Do you remember offhand?
Children of the Slump.
Okay, good. It's good to know.
I don't know. I don't even know if it's on iTunes. I got to look for it.
It might not be.
I mean, I'm looking at the Bandcamp.
Funny. Is Bandcamp still a thing?
I don't know.
That's funny. But yeah, let's kick this off. Let's kick the new year off with something that started the old decade. Are you ready?
Yeah. Bring it up.
I'll bring it
Where
up.
we at?
That's a good spot.
Like a ride, oh! Not easily offended, not let it go. From the mass to the masses, a list of many.
Thank you so much for being with H2O through the last decade, or at least the last 2 years of the decade when we were doing it. And be with us through the 2020s. I mean, we're not going to quit anytime soon, right? I mean, we're gonna do this at least for the next 10 years.
I think we're just now getting going.
We still haven't figured out how to make money off of this, but we have figured out how to do it.
Yeah, I think we're getting better.
We're a well-oiled machine, and we will be taking it on the road soon to a place near you if you live in Dallas or Fort Worth. But thank you so much for being with us. Episode 31 of H2O is in the books, as is the 10 Teens. Love you guys.
Such a good jam.
From a mess to the masses, a list of mania. Think less but see it grow. Like a ride, oh! Discuss.
Just gets better from here, guys.
Shut